Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Most of you know I am currently not living in my tiny house because I am renting it on Airbnb. However, living in this mobile home, I am still trying to live minimally and affordably. So I try to save on my groceries. I try to buy the least things that I can. And I used to be so impulsive with my groceries that I would buy a bunch of stuff at the store and it would sit in the cabinets and I would never eat it. When I moved into the tiny house, I had this entire plan on how I was going to save on groceries and food, and I have been doing the same regimen ever since. So I want to share that with you. So come along and I'm going to show you how I spend only $300 or less a month on groceries. First thing we're going to get into before I go through how I do the whole process. I used to get HelloFresh and Every Plate. And one of the reasons why I did this was because I am the type of person who does not like to look up a recipe, buy a bunch of different ingredients, and have those ingredients sit in my house and never use them again. I decided to start getting HelloFresh and Every Plate, and they come with a recipe card. It comes with all of the ingredients that you are to shop for. It shows the picture, shows the calories and everything that you're working with, and then it shows you how to make it on the back. This was a perfect opportunity for me to save some money and not be so lazy when it came to cooking. I used to eat fast food and junk and not really know what to eat, so I would snack. It would be chips one night, popsicles another night. So I needed to get back into eating healthy, and this has helped big time. However, living minimally has meant that I don't want to spend $440 to have this stuff delivered to my house. The $40 is shipping, so I could definitely save on that. So now we're at $400. And still, because they bag up the food, they put the food in a box. You have to pay for the box. You have to pay for the cooling pack that's in there. All of that can be saved on. Instead of having all of these meals delivered to me, I decided to see how much it would cost if I wrote down all of the ingredients and bought them at the store. One of these cards makes 2 meals. I eat one for dinner, and then I eat the second one for lunch the next day. I heat it up. And then for 7 days, I just provide myself breakfast. I'm going to take you through my process of how I do this. If you guys want to do the same, I'm not necessarily saying go buy HelloFresh so that you can get all of these recipe cards, because I've gotten them so much that I've saved all of these cards, and this is how I make all of my meals. First off, I take these meals and I have separated them into categories. A lot of them are vegetarian meals because I no longer eat meat. I have taken all of the meat meals out of here, and every week I will pick out 7 of these meals and make a shopping list with it. So that's what we're going to do now. I have already picked out the 7 meals, and then I'm going to show you my process of how we shop for the ingredients. First thing I do is I sit down with all of the recipes, and we're going to write down all of the ingredients. Now, the way that I do this is that I just write down each of the ingredients that I need and put a 1 after it because I need 1 serving of that. This says mushroom stock concentrate. I believe that I don't need it, so I don't buy this. I only use it once in a while, so I kind of just skip this and I just don't use it. Then we move to the next recipe, which is charred tomato and ricotta toasts. We're going to write down all of the ingredients for that. Now, one thing I want to mention is that once I come across another one of these ingredients, I put a number 2 next to it. So because we already have garlic down, I'm going to put a 2 there. Then I continue the list down here. ricotta again, chili flakes again, sourdough bread, walnuts again, balsamic glaze. Honey dill chickpea bowls. I'm going to write down those ingredients. Again, veggie stock concentrate, I'm not going to be putting there. Moving to the next one. Black bean and pepper jack tostadas. Writing down the ingredients for these. Got another tomato. Garlic, sour cream, veggie stock again, don't need it. Moving to the next one. Charred corn tacos. I'm going to write down the ingredients. For red onion, I just use regular onions. Another jalapeno, another tomato, another lime, more black beans, sour cream, cheese, tortillas. Next recipe, Greek goddess bulgur bowls. Gonna write down the ingredients. Chickpeas again, onion, cucumber, grape tomatoes, last one, sweet potato fajitas. This is the last recipe. We're going to write down those. Another jalapeno, another lime, another onion. The long green pepper, I just use poblanos. Tomato, cilantro, another sour cream, another tortillas, another cheese. So this is our grocery list, and now we're gonna do something different with this. Next thing we're gonna do is cross out everything that we already have in the house. So we go from the top. I don't know if I have a lemon or not, but I'm gonna check. I know I don't have mushrooms. I do have garlic, so we don't need any of that. I do have 1 bag of gnocchi, so we're gonna cross that out. I have chili flakes. I have walnuts. I have parsley growing outside. I have to check on Parmesan cheese. I have balsamic glaze. I have Tunisian. Oops, I put lemon twice, so I'm gonna cross that out. I also put dill twice. I do have one cucumber, so I'm going to cross out one of these. I have couscous. I have a small sour cream, so I might get another small sour cream, so I'll get another one. I already have honey. I have Southwest. I have tortillas. I have ancho chili powder. I have harissa. I have bulgur. I have Southwest. I have poblanos in the refrigerator. So then this is what our grocery list becomes. A lot of stuff is crossed off. And now we're gonna go check the refrigerator and cabinets for all this stuff, just in case we can minimize it even more. Then I take this list to come to the refrigerator. I do have a lemon, but that's for my dinner tonight. Let's see. We have a little Parmesan cheese, but I'm gonna get more, so I can't cross that off. I have dill, so I'm going to cross that off. I have one cucumber, so we crossed that off. Sour cream, but we're going to get another one. I have one serving of hummus, and that's all we need, so I don't need hummus. I'm going to cross that off. All right. Next up, as mentioned before, we now have our grocery list, and as you can see, a lot of these items have been crossed out. And the reason why they're crossed out is because a lot of these HelloFresh and Every Plate recipes have the same ingredients. So if you choose certain recipes like the tacos, those are probably always going to have tortillas. I chose a lot of the tortilla ones, so if you just get a 20 pack of tortillas, each meal needs 6 tortillas. This one has 3 tortillas and it makes 2 meals. I'll eat 1 for dinner and then 1 for lunch. So that's 6 tortillas. I do have a bag of 20 tortillas in there. We need 6, 12, we need 18 tortillas. And I believe there's 18 in the bag. I don't think I've used any yet. So these recipes do carry over. Some of the ingredients carry over. So if you go back through, if you have extra tortillas and your next week of grocery shopping is coming along, you would want to pick a recipe that has tortillas so that you can finish up the tortillas. And that is when you get to cross off tortillas on this list because you already have them from last week. Another thing that happens is something like bulgur, couscous, anything that flour, anything that you can put in a jar that you can use multiple times for multiple meals, you will only have to buy once. So and pasta, you would use a box, you would use 2 servings with that box. So usually with a HelloFresh meal, a small half bag comes. Imagine that being just a half of a box. When you do get a box of pasta, you will be able to make 2 meals from that. And something like bulgur or couscous is the same thing. You buy a bigger portion, or even rice. You put it in a jar and you only take 1/4 of a cup or 1/3 of a cup or however much rice you need, but it's going to last multiple times. Now this is also the case with things like sour cream. For a serving of sour cream, you only need a little bit of what's in the container. So if you have multiple recipes that have sour cream, get the size of sour cream that will use up all of the recipes, because at the end of that, you're going to be left with no sour cream, which is what we want. We're trying to use up all of the ingredients in the house rather than buying one ingredient and having it just sit there because you only used it on one recipe. Which is why I really like these recipes, is because a lot of them have the same things to use, so you're going to use them over and over and over again until they run out. Next thing we're going to do is go into the Walmart app, and I'm going to take these ingredients and put them in my shopping cart. And then one of the things I like to do is I pick up my groceries. I do not go in the store, and one of these reasons is because I am an impulsive and compulsive shopper. I have an addictive personality, so if I'm in the store and I see something I like, I will probably try to make an excuse to buy it, even though I don't need it. I do try to only spend $75 a week on groceries. So if I'm in the store and I'm buying all this extra stuff, I don't have that money in my allocated grocery pot to be able to purchase anything extra. So that's why I stick to $75. I shop from home, only make sure what's in my grocery cart is what I need for that week and nothing more. If I do put all these in my grocery cart and I do have extra money up until the $75, I will add stuff that I might need, butter, some of the stuff in the door, like mayonnaise, if I need to refill on mayonnaise or soy sauce. All of those things can be purchased with the extra money. Oil, butter, a big bag of cheese, just all of these things can be added to up until the $75. You want to try not to go over $75 a week. This is the budget I am trying to stick to. I am in the Walmart app, and I'm just adding stuff to my grocery cart and watching how much I'm spending. I'm just going to be putting these things in my grocery cart, and as my cost adds up, I will see how much I have left over for anything else. I usually do put in 3 boxes of lime popsicles, so that's basically the extra stuff that I get for myself. I also need to get oil and litter. So litter is also in my budget. I buy 3 of them. So this bill is definitely going to go over $75, but that's okay because I have the money in there for the litter. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to be adding the 2 lemons that we need. I do have a lemon in the refrigerator, but that's for my meal tonight. And that puts us at $1 so far. I'm going to be adding the button mushrooms, so that'll raise the price as well. I'm purchasing sage because I don't have any growing at the moment. And as I mentioned before, things like the ricotta cheese, I have 2 recipes that use the ricotta cheese. So if I get a small container, it'll probably be used for both of them. If not, I'll have 1 serving left that I can use on my next week of groceries. Same goes with grape tomatoes. I have 2 recipes that are using them, so I could purchase 1 little container and split it into 2. Parmesan cheese is the same thing. If I got 1 little tub, I can use it on 1 recipe, but then it's in the refrigerator for future recipes. Sourdough bread is the same thing. If I buy an entire loaf of bread and I only need 4 pieces, I will put in my next recipes things that have sourdough bread so I could use that up. We do need 1 or 2 cans of chickpeas, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. Tomatoes and onions are the same thing. I like to get an entire bag that has 4 or 5 tomatoes in it, a bag of onions that have 6 or 7 onions in it, so I could use it for multiple meals. Jalapeno is the same way. If you order the smallest amount, that bag has about 4 or 5 jalapenos in it. The next week's recipe, I might put some recipes that have jalapenos in it so I could use those up. We do need 1 cucumber, so we're going to add that. I'm also going to be adding a tub of sour cream because 4 or 5 of our recipes need sour cream. And I'm also going to add a lime and a can of black beans. Now remember, with the cheese, we're also going to be getting a big family pack because multiple recipes need this cheese, and if I don't use all of it this week, then I can use the rest of the cheese next week and just cross that off my list as if not needing it. Next, we're going to be adding 1 can of corn. We're also going to be adding a tub of feta, and with this also, if there's any left over, we can use them for the recipes the next week. We're also going to add a bunch of cilantro, seeing as the cilantro that's growing in my gardens have died from all the frost. We're also going to be adding a sweet potato for that recipe. And we also need a bottle of Greek vinaigrette to put in the refrigerator. Now this also is going to be one of those things that can stay in the refrigerator. I come across another recipe that does use it. We have everything in our grocery cart, and something else I want to mention is that a lot of these things on this list I could have grown. And because it's the winter, none of this stuff is growing right now, but I put $40.11 in the shopping cart. This is all of this food that I needed. But if I would have grown the sweet potatoes, the cilantro, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, the sage, the onions, the jalapeno, the corn, all of those things, the mushrooms, all of those things would have been taken off this list and put it down to $10 for all of this stuff. So growing your food is honestly the way to go. And if it was the spring and summer, I'd be saving even more because that's what I use, is all of the food from my garden and the herbs from my garden when I have it available. When it's not available, I have to buy it at the store. Now that we have $40.11 in the grocery cart, I'm going to add some of the extra stuff that I need, which I'm going to put the lime popsicles in there. I'll see what total that takes us. I do need to get a big olive oil. I usually get the big olive oil and then fill a smaller olive oil. But I did have to go to Dollar General and get a small bottle, which was like $11. So we're trying not to spend anything at Dollar General because it's more expensive. If we do it this way, it's just easier. And I had run out of oil. I didn't have any left. So that is one of the things that we have to get. I also have to add the litter, which ends up being $34.44 for 3 big containers, and then I give this in my budget every single month. After adding those popsicles, we are now at $52.05, and then after adding the oil, we are at $88.28. So this is a little bit more than the $75 I wanted to spend, but you have to think about how many times I won't have to buy that oil within the month. I'll have that oil there already, but maybe I spend less next week. Now I'm going to be adding the litter, and that's going to be taken out of a different chunk of money. Our list is complete. We are at $122.72. That's okay because we added those extra things. Next week, we're definitely going to stay under $75, but this is how I do my weekly shopping. I'll be picking this stuff up today, and they're just going to deliver it right in my trunk. This helps me not go into the store and spend money that I don't have, buying snacks and other cool things that are seen on the shelves and in the clearance rack, and I just make excuses to buy a bunch of stuff I don't need. So this is one of the ways I stop myself from doing that. I'm not sure if HelloFresh or EveryPlate has a website where you can view their recipes without having to purchase from them, but this style of shopping can be done with any kind of recipe. So it's all about planning. So just take a list of 7 meals for the week for lunch and dinner. For breakfast, all I do is buy random stuff. So I might buy pancake mix. I might use some of that extra bread and make French toast. I've got 20 chickens, so I can eat eggs and egg sandwiches. So I might get English muffins to put with that egg sandwich. I could also make cream of wheat. I could eat my Nutella biscuits with my tea. So there are a lot of things that you can do for breakfast. You could also do fruit for breakfast. So it becomes not so bad buying 7 days worth of breakfast on top of the 7 days of lunch and dinner that you just bought. So again, just take your recipes out, write down all the ingredients, make sure that some of the recipes use up some of the other stuff that's in the other recipes. So instead of leaving that sour cream sit in your refrigerator until the next time you need it, have about 2 or 3 recipes during that week that's going to use up the entire thing. That was always my problem, so I'm so glad that I have found a system that works for me, and I'm sharing it with you guys, so hopefully it will help you. If you guys like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and click the notifications bell so you can receive a notification every time I post a new video, which is every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. All of that can be saved on if I just use these recipes. Don't put that. Rocky! I'm going to probably be picking this stuff up today because it is, don't put that. And it's not as much as, don't put that.